Okay, we are back and appear to be better synced up, I think, than we were before. Maybe not perfectly, but it's definitely not nearly as bad. And we're making sounds, and they're mostly in time with our mouths. So, hi everybody, welcome to episode number 8 of the Button List, which we have titled Positively Hilarious, because there's been a lot of crap going on in the world and at Beading Dreams and in our lives. So we decided to have a podcast about the things that have been good lately, the things that make us smile. And we're actually going to start off our Positively Hilarious podcast with a brand new segment with a surprise special guest. So the premise of this segment is you are going to, that means you audience, have to interact. Otherwise, Heather and I are just going to have to start throwing out random things. Yay! You are going to suggest to the special guest any topic, anything, anything, except for positive or negative, but except for anything involving excessive cruelty of one living being to another. But anything in the world. I mean, I'm talking like ratchets, vice grips, computers, streaming, snowplows, movies, and the special guest will break down how whatever that is a positive thing, net positive for the human race and the world. So,
and they're pretty good at it.
They are. So without further ado, I would like you to welcome to Sam's Cornerless Corner our very own Sam. Hit that button there.
Which one?
The top left. Sorry, we didn't.
Hi, it's me, Sam, and I'm here in Sam's Cornerless Corner to talk to you about why things are good and why I like the world. As Allison mentioned, the only exception to that rule is just I can't put a positive spin on people being mean to each other for no reason, because it's just not great. But everything else, I think is really awesome. So you guys just chuck stuff in. Is it called the comments on Twitch?
The chat.
The chat. Put it in the chat, and I will give responses. I'm very excited about this. I love doing this, and now I get to do it for lots of people.
So there's nothing happening currently.
No, I have noticed that.
So we should give Sam something.
Yes. Let's see.
Mosquitoes.
Okay, so. Oh, loud vacuum cleaners. Which one do you guys want me to do first? I'll go with loud vacuum cleaners. Okay, so humans have made so many things. I'm going to say I love this topic about all of these, and y'all are going to get sick of it. But I do love this topic. I love that human beings made things. And obviously at first it was like, for really big things, like human spaceflight, or just easier travels, or like, cleaning food so that we all don't eat bad food and die. Like necessary things that if you told a caveman about technology, they could do it. But then we just were like, what if we made a robot that makes it so that we don't have to pick up all the little dust bits off the floor? Because that would be really nice, and my spine hurts. And we did a vacuum cleaner. And I have a great appreciation for technology in its early stages, especially when it comes to like stuff like that where it's a little bit silly. Like, because some of it doesn't evolve. It doesn't evolve at all. Like if you look at eyelash curlers, for example, you look at the first ever version of an eyelash curler, it has not evolved at all from then to now. We have kept that piece of technology exactly the same because we perfected it. But there are some things that we haven't perfected, and they suck the first time. And I think it's really cool because it gets us to where we are now. So like old loud vacuum cleaners that scream at you while you try to suck stuff up, it's just like, we made that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yay!
And now you can pack bond with your Roomba.
And now you can, oh my god, pack bonding with robots is something I could talk about that forever. Like, humans sort of making friends with robots is so great.
Also, all of the videos on the internet of cats riding Roombas.
Yes.
Net gain of the world.
Totally
Absolutely. Like,
Okay,
we
so
made
we're
a
back to
robot.
mosquitoes.
We are back to
There's no
mosquitoes.
other
Okay, so mosquitoes, I know how we can start off with, those things suck and they hurt and they
We
itch.
are talking about lots of sucky things today. Like
I
literal
know.
sucky
That's a
things.
very, that's a very weird.
But it is.
We're not going to continue with that trend. I don't want to, but we'll do this one.
Next is straws.
Okay, well, mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, because I get like, one conversation that I've had with a lot of teachers is like, well, there's a lot of animals that suck, but we get why they suck. Like, spiders, for example, catch all the other little bad bugs and, sort of build nests and stuff, and sort of, that's a net gain to the world. But what people don't understand is how mosquitoes are a net gain to the world. And I think two things. The first thing is, it makes other bugs easier to love. But that's not as much of a positive spin on mosquitoes as I'd like to give them credit for, because the second thing is, mosquitoes exist to be the food of all the other animals that we need to survive. And, like, if you didn't have, I don't know, I'm trying to find a good example. Grain doesn't do anything except let us eat it. Grain isn't going out and, like, building nests and killing our enemies and stuff like that.
Saying that mosquitoes are the grain of the insect world?
Yes, mosquitoes are the
Okay.
grain of the insect world, and without them, it would be bad. And I think that it's very noble that there's a bug that exists to be murdered brutally. Because
They're bird plankton.
yes, they're gnats and mosquitoes are
And
very
no
much
seams.
yes, bird
Hives is
plankton,
okay.
spider plankton.
Okay, so the next
Fortnite.
topic is Fortnite.
Fortnite. Were there curling irons before electricity?
Yes, there were.
There were actually.
curling irons.
They would sort of, it's quite literally exactly what it sounds like. You'd get a metal stick and you just sort of stick it in the fire, and then you'd wrap your hair around it real fast, and then you'd try not to burn your hair off because you couldn't really control the temperature.
But luckily, your maid was doing it.
Yes,
Exactly.
which made it very convenient
So
because
if
she was a
your- If
professional.
your hair did get burned off, then it wasn't your fault. And you could fire somebody.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, we're picking up steam. Hey,
Yo.
Sam, how long do you want this segment to last?
However long people keep asking questions for. You cut me
Okay.
off.
All right.
Okay, Fortnite. Again, this is another one where you don't see the positive gain at first. You look at it and you wonder, but I'm here to help you. So, obviously there's a lot of people who like this game, but sort of the general feedback about it is that it just sort of absorbs a lot of their time without actually, being helpful. Like YouTube Shorts, for example. You just watch a lot of stuff and it doesn't really help you think of anything. But I think Fortnite is unlike a lot of mindless things you can do on the internet because you're doing it with other people. And sometimes the other people are mean and uncooperative, but it gives you a chance to be kind and cooperative. And I remember I've read stories about people who have, during COVID, like, hosted birthday parties on Fortnite for their friends who they couldn't see in person. Or it's a chance for people, like, to meet each other even if they don't live in close places. And I feel that way about a lot of games that you can play over long distance, because just, like, again, man, humans just came up with a way to just sort of hang out even if they aren't doing the same thing, and make little characters with little skins and shoot each other. But it's a skill. You gotta learn how to deal with uncooperative people.
Absolutely.
It's teamwork. Okay. People who chew loudly with their mouth open. Okay. This is a learning experience. They don't know they're doing it. If they do, that is unnecessary cruelty from one human being to another human being, and I am not in the jurisdiction to deal with that. But if they aren't aware of it, it is a chance for you to sit down and practice your confrontation skills, or it's a chance for them to sit down and take constructive criticism. And it's one of those things where, because I think about this in all arguments in general, it's not fun, but it does help you sort of cooperate with another human being and learn how to live in harmony together. So I think that that is a net gain to the world.
Agreed.
Even if it's not great immediately. Because, again, I am one of the people who does not enjoy that type of person. But I've gotten better at confrontation because of it. My daughter cyber stood up for her friend's cyber wedding on Stardew Valley. There you go.
So cute.
Exactly.
Love it.
That is it. You hit the nail on the head.
Presented at a conference in Animal Crossing, actually, very early in the pandemic.
Presented at a conference in
They
Animal
had a whole conference, like a DevOps conference in Animal Crossing.
I love life.
I know, it's so great.
I love everything. Man, okay.
Okay.
Anybody get any other ones?
I have one.
Okay.
Hills while on rollerblades.
Hills while on... Wow. Fun story. I did that. I got on rollerblades, and then I sort of plummeted down a hill. So first thing, I think that there are a lot of things that... I'm trying to think of a way to say this with human words. You have to have something bad happen to you in order to have anything interesting happen to you. I think that a lot of stories where obviously not like there's nothing funny about it, there's nothing interesting about it, like you got in a car wreck or something like that. That is just, it sucks, but you get to more confrontation skills. But stupid things like that, where it hurts, but also for years in the future, I have that now. I just have the ability to sit down and say, you think you're stupid, but you don't know where I've been. And
I think that you should maybe take a quick second to actually tell the story.
Okay. So, I was in a school production of The Odyssey, and whilst in this production, my drama teacher suggested that I be on rollerblades and that I have wings attached to the rollerblades instead of having like the little flying Hermes sandals because she knew I could rollerblade. And I was like, sick, that sounds great.
It was amazing.
It was. Yes, I am very happy with how it turned out.
We were there.
They were there. They saw it. But unfortunately, I was stupid, and our theater was on a very steep hill, like almost a 90-degree angle, and you really had to get your car if you wanted to get up to the parking lot. So I decided to go out.
San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. I decided to go outside while on my roller skates and in my costume, and I was at the top of the hill, and then I said out loud, "Ooh, a hill!" And then I leaned forward and went full throttle to the bottom of this hill, and about 3/4 of the way down I sort of realized, oh, I'm not stopping. That's weird. And I tried to do that thing you do when you ski where you sort of go left right, like pizza sort of thing, and that failed me horrifically, and I did hit a curb. And I was told by a mom who was walking up to the theater as I was coming down that I looked like an angel and the light was hitting me just right. And so I did bleed all over my costume, and I did tear that up a little bit, and putting the antiseptic on was not fun. But I got better, and you want to know, I had about 10 minutes where I was in a lot of pain, and now I get to sit here in front of you, not in a lot of pain, telling a story about myself. So that's a net gain
about how Sam can fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is a net a real fall in it. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, net gain for me personally, and for all of you, and for Allison and Heather,
yes.
and for not the girl handling costumes. She was unhappy. But everyone else was like, wow, that was a choice. And I've been happy since then. Anybody got any other ones? What's that thing?
One more?
Hold on, what's that thing? Sound off in the chat. That's what people say.
Yes.
Sound off.
Heather, do you have another one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ice cream
ice cream headaches. Yeah,
Oh.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
This one isn't as good as it is just genuinely hilarious. I think that the fact that instead of your body, like, because when you eat too much freaking, I don't know, hamburger, your body responds like with the full feeling. Like, oh, you ate too much hamburger too fast and now you feel bad. But I think it's genuinely amusing that if you eat too much ice cream or anything cold too fast, your body goes, hold it right there, and sort of just slaps you in the back with a migraine. And I just think that is...
But it's so short.
It's so short. It's just sort of like, instead of getting full, it's like a virus warning, like on your computer. Like, you are about to die if you continue this path. Do you want to continue? And there's sort of like a no, a no, a no, and a yes in the corner. It's real small. But I think that's genuinely amusing that the human body is good enough that it can say, no. Nah, fam. You can't keep doing that.
But yet we do.
Blue screens. What is blue screen?
Did you see Julie's
Did you
question?
see?
Oh, she, they. I have a pin. Ba, 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 ba. I can't. Yeah.
She did.
Yes.
When your PC crashed in Big Sad.
I know, it happened right
I don't
before-
have a PC, so
No.
I don't really know what this is.
It happened
But
right
Screens
before
are-
the last game.
Or sadness.
Yes.
But
You didn't hear me shout obscenities really loud because you were at Sonic, but
it definitely happened.
it happened because my PC blue screened before the first stream.
Big Sad PC gamer moment.
Right.
Your computer crashes and oh, okay. So, did any of you guys hear about the Temu ad? Like, there's this online selling thing
I know
called
about
Temu,
yeah.
and
It's
during
like the new Wish.
and doing yes, it is.
Mhm.
And during the Super Bowl, Temu created an ad that made it look like your TV screen was being switched out of the Super Bowl channel and to a different channel. And this was, all well and good, and it was only about 20 seconds long, so a lot of people realized it was a prank really fast. But after that happened, there was like a huge thing on a bunch of different social media sites about the sheer amount of like angry dads and boyfriends who had like blown up at all the other people in the room being like, who's changing the channel? How dare you? And stuff like that, I feel like, where it's something so small and yet so annoying at the same time, where it seems so big and consequential even when it isn't. It's such a good way to gauge where you are as a person in regards to anger management, or like it's crying over spilled milk, but instead of crying over spilled milk, it's punching a hole in the wall over spilled milk, and just sort of realizing like there are ways to manage that. And if you feel like you're the type of person who would punch a hole in the wall if your PC blue screened, then you have a chance to be like, oh, whoa, hold on. This is a very safe space where I'm not hurting anyone, where I can manage my anger levels instead of being mad. Because, trust me, I have 5 brothers, and boy oh boy did they all go through that phase where they were very incredibly willing to break something when something like this happened.
I usually just yell at it.
Usually just yell at it.
Yes.
Yeah, that is also a valid response. I guess that's my big, oh, people went bonkers. Yes, they did.
Yes.
It was scary. But that's my positive spin on blue screens. And what time is it? I'm going to do one more, and then Sam's Cornerless Corner is in fact over.
For tonight.
Overless over for tonight.
Over for tonight.
But yelling solves nothing.
nothing.
That's
Really,
what we call a coping mechanism.
Exactly. Because to be fair, like, breaking the computer actually actively makes more problems. So yelling is, yelling's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, Heather.
Yelling makes me feel better. There you go.
All right. It's on you, I believe, Heather, for one more.
No, she did one. Now you got to do one.
Oh, what? It's my turn again?
It is your turn again.
Dang it.
What do you mean again? Oh, you did the rollerblade.
I did the
again.
roll. Yeah, no, I totally
You
skewered
did do
Sam
one.
with the rollerblade one. Because I'm kind of a jerk sometimes.
Itchy shirts.
Itchy shirts. Okay. Itchy shirts are how I found out that I have sensory issues. Or more accurately, how my mom found out and then forgot to tell me. And then I found out myself in a harder way later. But just sort of generally, stuff like that. This is actually similar to the blue screen one. Stuff that helps you gauge kind of where you're at as a person and helps you make your life better for yourself after that. I will say, I have found articles of clothing that were beautiful and were also horrendous on and like horrendously feeling, like physically. And that has inspired me to actually try and make some of my own stuff, like put my own designs on shirts and stuff like that so that I don't have to wear the bad, ugly shirt. And that's inspired me to do a lot more art. So, moral of the story is, if a piece of clothing feels bad on you, remake it.
Make it better.
You can make it better. I believe in you. There's tutorials online for how to sew, I think they're called like sensory seams, but it's basically ways to do hems and stuff like that without any itchy hanging bits. Anyway, this has been Sam's Cornerless Corner. Come back later if you want. You don't have to, but it'd be really cool because I got like lemonade in here, and you can have some.
Yay!
Bye!
We love you, Sam!
Hold on, you gotta stay to smile until the thing does the thing. Okay. Alright, did you let them out? I got you. Hey everybody! So thank you guys so much for participating in Sam's Cornerless Corner. That was really fun. Julie says Sam rocks, by the way. So this will definitely be a regular part of our podcast. So start thinking of things for next time. So, and I have to figure out how to actually, Corvus, you're not out there, are you? Corvus, I need a Sam's Cornerless Corner graphic, and I need to know how to integrate the music. So, things I need to research. Hi, Sophia, welcome back. So, I need to put the Allison and Heather screen on my Stream Deck.
Sam does rock. We are so
She
lucky
really
about
does.
them.
We are lucky that she... Did she just randomly wander in one day?
She started shopping here. She came in specifically to fix her tooth earrings.
Right.
And then she found out we had bone beads. And then she just kept coming in. And then we were like, hey, you should work here.
Yeah, Sam is the best weirdo ever. She is amazing and obviously knows a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that was an awesome segment. So the title of this podcast is Positively Hilarious. So we have been having a lot of crap happening at Beading Dreams. There's a lot of crap happening in the world. There's a lot of crap happening in our personal lives. There's a lot of crapping going on. So Heather and I are going to spend the last 30 minutes or so of this podcast.
The green hair is new and the eyebrows were...
The eyebrows change.
Yes,
they do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the...
Yes, the
bones on their hand. They drew that with a tattoo marker, along with about 4 other
Yeah.
I need to set an appointment with Sam to draw me some cool temporary tattoos,
right?
Because they are freaking amazing.
Yes.
And they were freaking fantastic in the Odyssey, on the rollerblades, it was great.
They didn't have to go downhill at all.
No, they didn't have to go downhill. That was their choice. And, but and also apparently Sam's friends after that incident would periodically just walk up to them and say, "Ooh, a hill."
No. Yeah. Full disclosure, this was a long time ago. It's a hilarious story now.
This might be the right or the wrong button. Keep talking.
I raced my brother down the hill one day the hill in front of my house on roller skates, and he was on his big wheel, and I was totally winning until I hit a rock. And then I also flew through the air, and I would have been okay, except I landed on the curb with my arm, and I broke my arm.
Oh my gosh!
And my brother won, and I was so upset that Jeff won. Although I always also loved it when Jeff won things, so I was always torn.
So I actually also have a funny, like, okay, and this should actually be another podcast topic, is like childhood injuries and how you got them.
Yes, it should.
But so my grandparents used to have a giant elm tree in the backyard, and unfortunately about 15 years ago it got diseased and they had to take it down. But when I was a kid, it was this huge tree. It shaded the whole backyard and the whole back deck, and it was full of handmade birdhouses that my grandfather had made, and it had a tire swing on it. And that tire swing had been there for a while. So one day my dad was pushing me on the tire swing, and of course, you know, I wanted to go higher and higher and higher and higher, so my dad was pushing me higher and higher and higher. So he pushes me up, and at the top of the arc, the rope snaps.
No.
And yes, and the tire and I plummet to the ground. The only injury I received, it was a pretty bad cut under my lip. And so my grandmother squirted some Bactine on it, because it was that era, and stuck a Band-Aid on it and then sent me home. And my mom, for the rest of my life, has been mad because I have a scar because my grandmother didn't push the skin back in place before she put the Band-Aid on. So I have a scar right here from that.
It's so obvious. I've noticed it every day of my life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. But my mother was so upset at my grandmother
Well,
for that.
your mother is also so upset at you for growing out of your baby hair.
Well,
so.
that is
Yeah.
true. My mother's just upset with everything about
Your mother's
everything
just upset.
because she takes no responsibility for anything herself. But that was one of my, but I have never, the only bones I've ever broken are, I've broken 2 toes and I stress fractured one of the bones in my right foot. That's it. Never broken any other bones than that. Grown-up injuries your average child avoided, but nope, not us. That's another good one, because I completely bit it in front of Beading Dreams the other day, and now I have 2 knees that are very interesting colors.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's some
That's
serious commitment.
yeah.
To birth.
Yeah. Wow.
My cousin broke her collarbone while she was being born, and then again 8 more times.
Oh, good Lord.
So.
Is this Terry or someone else?
No, this is my cousin Nancy.
Oh my gosh.
I have a lot of cousins. So.
Goodness. Yeah, well, and I also actually have good injury stories about my family as well. Like the time my Aunt Tammy dove into the shallow end of the swimming pool and broke her nose and almost fractured her neck. Yes.
I have scraped all the skin off my nose and chin by diving all the way to the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, no, I never...
That was a bad few days.
I bet. No, I never... I mean, I would go off the high dive when I was... And I'm talking about the high dive at the neighborhood pool, not like the Olympic high dive. But when I was a teenager, I had enough guts to do that. But I to this day, I can't hold my breath for very long. So I would literally only go, I would start swimming back up as soon as I possibly could. I had no desire to get to the bottom. But I also do have another funny pool story, which isn't on topic, but I'm going to tell it anyway. And then we can go back on topic with a positive story from Heather. So when I was in high school, I went to the High School of the Arts. I was a dance major. So dance majors did not have to take PE except for swimming. We had to take one semester of swimming. And so I wound up with two of my best friends in first period swim. So first period swim, especially on Mondays, was very cold because the pool heaters had been off since Friday evening. And so then, and so we had a pact. We had a pact that we all went to the deep end and we would go 1, 2, 3, and then we would all run and jump our asses in the cold pool. Like, that was our agreement. So it's the Monday after holiday break.
Oh, goodness.
Which
so
means the pool heater's been off for a week, and this is Wisconsin. So, you know, it's minus 15 degrees. And so we kind of dip our toes in the pool as we're walking to the deep end, and it's like, that's really cold. So we all line up in our typical formation at the deep end, and we go 1, 2, 3, and my ass runs and goes jumping into the pool, and those two stayed on the deck.
No.
Yes, they did.
Oh, no.
Yep. I came up out of the pool sputtering, and I was so mad.
Oh,
it was, I mean, at this point in my life, of course, it's hilarious, but yeah, both of them chickened out. I was the only dumbass who went flying into that freezing cold pool. Gosh, that was, I mean, okay, high school swim class is a trip because, oh God, I can't remember our swim instructor's name, but she always wore a swim cap and a swimsuit, but she wouldn't actually get in the pool. Like, she would literally, like, lay on the deck and, like, demonstrate the strokes.
Oh.
Like, on the deck, not in the pool. And we had to do what she called bobs and bubbles, which was supposed to get you used to putting your head under the water, which I actually realize is a legitimate thing for some people.
Yeah.
So I actually have complicated feelings about that now because the name is hilarious, but at the same time, I know there were some people in that class who were really not okay with that, and I don't think it's okay that they were forced to do it. But I was, 15, 16, so, I was not that mentally evolved then. But yeah, it just the image of her, like, demonstrating the side stroke up on the deck, like, it was weird. It's definitely weird. And then there was also the, like, whole, you have to shower experience, like, you have to community shower experience, and that was definitely, as a teenager,
not ideal.
That was, and it was required. Like, you had to, like, you could not opt out of showering. So, and, just weird stuff.
Teenagering is terrible.
Teenagering is terrible. I feel like there are ways.
Not for the weak.
I feel like there are ways, though, to make teenagering less terrible that were definitely not in play when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Maybe still aren't, but, like, there are things that could be done better.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's actually get on topic for a little while before it's time for us to end. So, positively hilarious. Heather, tell a story that happened to you recently that is positive and also possibly hilarious.
Okay, so we had a lovely surprise. It wasn't a surprise party. Well, okay, it was kind of also a surprise party, but we had a lovely group of ladies in last night for a party. It was a surprise to us because it was planned yesterday morning.
Yes.
And the customer who came in for the first time about 3 weeks ago or so, she just loves us now. And every time she asks us to do something, we figure out a way to do it. So she has nothing but wonderful things to say about us. So she came in, and she had interacted with me before, but had never actually met me. Like, we hadn't spent that much time together. But while she was waiting for her friends to get here, we were talking, and she asked what my name was, and I told her. And then when her first friend arrived, about 10 minutes after that, she said, "Roz, this is Heather. Heather, this is Roz. Heather's the one who makes everything happier." And I
Oh my gosh, are you? Oh wow.
No.
Wow, that's
horrifying.
crazy.
No. No, that's bad news.
Yeah. And also, I feel like very mentally damaging to all of those boys. Seriously,
Yes.
like, because I'm sorry, but high school boys, like, not the most secure humans, and also not the nicest and most emotionally developed humans. So
Yeah.
that's really pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
And also, who wants all that, like, waving
No.
flaccidness in the pool? I'm like, come on.
Waving flaccidness.
Okay, actually,
We have to come up with something happier than waving flaccidness.
no, actually, okay, so.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have two things that made me smile today. And, so.
Do you have a visual aid for one of them?
I have a visual aid for both of them, actually, but I need to do a brief photo crop, so everyone just bear with me for a second. But yeah, there were two things that really made me smile today, and this was one of them. So, as most of you know, I like to cook, and I also like to feed people. This is something that I share with my father, that it makes me happy to feed other people and to have them take joy in the food that I make. So,
oh my gosh, do I?
So I decided on a whim last night to order a bunch of groceries for vegetarian sandwiches for a particular Heather who is on the other side of the computer. So, and I also got a little cray-cray on Pinterest saving recipes for vegetarian sandwiches. So, this morning I made her a caprese sandwich with whole wheat bread, mayonnaise, pesto, fresh mozzarella, and tomatoes. And then I grilled it. And so I made her two. And so I told her to eat the first one when she got to work today because it was probably still warm.
Which one?
And so she sent me this text, and that made me smile so big. So that was the first thing that made me smile today.
And your sandwich sure made me smile.
Well, good. I'm so glad. It smelled really, really good. It smelled really good. So that was the first. Let's see. Do you want me to go with the second thing that
Go
made
ahead.
me smile
Yeah,
today?
these
Okay.
are pretty short too.
Yes. The second one is short as well. So. Yep. So the reason I'm wearing the Beading Dream shirt is because I had to work a birthday party today. And also, by the way, Heather saved my ass because she's amazing, because I accidentally double booked myself.
She did.
Yeah, I apparently also booked myself a lesson with a client during the birthday party.
But we didn't write it down.
But I didn't write it down, so I didn't plan for it. So then the client walks in right as I'm about to leave for the birthday party. I'm like, oh, crap. So Heather took over, saved my butt. Heather makes everything happier. So I went to the party, which was in this giant ass, beautiful but very large house. And the mom who was hosting, I have the hiccups a little bit, sorry. Mom who was hosting the party was super nice. They had two cats. They had two dogs and two cats. And their cats were, I think they were like mini Cornish Rex or Devon Rex. The ones with the, like, not the bald ones, but the ones with the, like, you know, short kind of corrugated hair. And one of them was very aloof. And her name was Whitey. And then the other one was very interested in everything. And her name was Cookie. And she looks like this. She is the most adorable little gremlin-y cat.
She is such a gremlin, and her eyes are
her eyes and her ears are giant, and she was helping me set up,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was very, very fascinated by my knees. And hi, Kenneth. And then at the very end of the party, she was taking a bath in their giant bar sink, which was like 50 times her size. But she was just the cutest thing, and she was so friendly and just wanted to walk all over the beads and smell everything. And she was just adorable. And she was tiny. Like, my Mamie is probably, I would peg Mamie at probably 7 or 8 pounds, and this kitty was probably like 6. She was so tiny, but with the biggest ears and the biggest eyes, and just like so cute. And to be fair, I think the proportional, disconnect is because of the lack of fluff. Because if you shaved Mamie, well, first of all, she would murder you in the face.
Yes, but I don't think you'd be able to shave all of Mamie.
Yeah, but secondly, like if you took off the fluff, like I think most cats are proportioned that way. It's just they've got the floof to fill it out. And this kitty, but she was so, and her name is Cookie, and she was so cute and so friendly. And the hostess of the party, she was like, wow, she usually runs away from strange people, but she's just kind of, she wants to be involved in this. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Right on, Cookie. You my assistant.
Yeah.
So that was the second thing that made me smile today was Cookie. So Heather and Cookie are the 2 most positive things about my day today.
Yay.
And how are your babies doing, Julie? Because she has like little babies.
They are small.
They're small, but they're growing.
Mm-hmm.
Cookies, I think she done growing.
She just small.
She just small. Yeah. No, I would peg her. She didn't act like a geriatric cat, but she was definitely an adult cat. So
mostly awesome. That sounds right.
That sounds like
cats.
kittens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kittens or adult cats, really. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
oh no, you know what? That was the second and third thing that made me smile today.
What was the first thing?
Sam showed up.
Yes.
So
that's true.
So Sam. Oh goodness. Okay, so Sam's Cornell's Corner Sam is a junior in high school and has a whole lot going on. So we hired her on, and unfortunately she wasn't great as a regular employee because she kept having things naturally come up that interfered with her work schedule. So we concurrently decided that her official position at Beading Dreams is helpful drop-in fairy, which means basically whenever she has time and she wants to work, she'll show up and help with whatever we need. So today was going to be a bit of a tight day because I had to go. I didn't have anyone else to do this party. I had to go do the party. So it was just going to be Carol and Heather on the floor alone.
We didn't even know about the class.
Yeah, and then we didn't even know about the class. So I'm packing up for the party, and there's a knock on the door, and it's Sam, who's here to work for the whole day. It was the best thing. So that was actually the first thing that made me smile today. Then there was Heather's text. Then there was the kitty cat. So, sorry, I totally just stepped on your thing. So
no, you're good. So I talk a lot about games that I play on the internet, and I'm friends with a lot of people all over the world because of these games. So in my zombie game, I have a really good friend named Nagochi, and obviously Nagochi is in Japan, and he refers to me as his best friend, which is super sweet. I mean, he just took to me immediately, and we find things to talk about because I find things to talk about with everyone. And we had a good conversation about
that is a gift of yours.
It's a good gift.
Yes, Fitchy. Fitchy.
Yes.
Fitchy.
He was so
sweet,
excited
Fitchy.
that I knew about it. So he two things about Noguchi, because he's just a sweet man. And I have no idea what he looks like or how old he is or anything like that. It doesn't matter because he's my friend. And so he got really busy at work, and he was the leader of another alliance. I'm the governor of my state, and my state leaders keep making me the governor again. It's supposed to rotate, but it hasn't. I'm the governor for the third time in a row now because they love me for reasons. But and Noguchi was the governor once also, and he wanted me to pretty much be his right hand person. So I was the governor's aide during that time. We were already close before then, but got closer because we had to work together so much. So he messaged me about a week ago, and he said, "Hey, could I join Sig's alliance for a while?" I was like, "Well, yeah." So apparently he got busy at work and took a step back from being the leader of his alliance for about a month. So he's spending a vacation in my alliance with me, and is just having so much fun being there. And he is so funny. Like, he's so very Japanese. I really wasn't sure how he would get along in our chat because we get a little crazy sometimes. And the first night he was in there were definitely, like, people were not on their best behavior. They were on their most interesting behavior. And about an hour in, I know he's been there the whole time, and he goes, "You all are so lively." I was like, "I love you." But we also have alternate accounts together in a different state, different server on the same game. We all started them together the night that the server launched. So we're all, really young in that server. And I messaged him because I was pretty sure he didn't know that I had actually created a character. And so I messaged him just to let him know. And the next time I logged into the game, he said something about it that night in chat. And then the next time I logged into the game, I pulled up his alliance, and on their page that is outward facing, so the public can see it, the entire announcement is all in Japanese except for the very bottom, which says in English, so I can read it, "Best Friend Alliance now," which was the one I was in. And so that was really sweet. And I loved it so much, it just made me happy.
Yay!
But now I've joined his alliance, so that's even better. They're very happy to have me because I am Sig-san, or Shigu. Some call me Shigu. Like, I have my own character, which is pretty cool. All right, that was all.
So I actually have an old story that involves a Japanese person that also made me smile. So years ago, I used to be in a relationship with a guy who worked for he still works for a local retro arcade. Really fabulous business, just super top-notch people and everything. And so this is pre-pandemic, and they hosted a huge tournament every spring for a vintage fighting game called Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And they would actually fly over several players from Japan, because it's a very popular game still in Japan, to compete in the series. And the main draw of that was everyone wanted to meet the Japanese players and interact with them and learn from them and all of that. So the year before the pandemic, I was lucky enough that he asked me to help him show, like, on the arrival day, show the Japanese players around Dallas. And I don't speak Japanese, but I do know how to use Google Translate. And they were all super, super nice. But the first stop after we picked them up at the airport was we went for pancakes, because this is something that I did not know prior to this, which is that American style pancakes are not a thing really in Asia. Like they are unique-ish to the US and Europe, and so they're novel to people from Asia. So we took them to the original pancake house, which, most of us can go to any old day and have pancakes. So we were all, sitting at a long table, and, everybody ordered, and I actually didn't order pancakes. Oh, no, I did, because OPH has gluten-free pancakes. But, so they bring us all our pancakes, and the player who was sitting across from me, his handle was Murasaki. Don't actually know what his real name is, but he looked at the pancakes like he was a little perplexed, and then managed to take his fork and his hands and fold an entire pancake into his mouth all at the same time, chew it and swallow it whilst not looking undignified at any point. And I was just trying not to stare, like, how did you do that? Like, how is that even possible? And, and then us Americans started, of course, cutting our pancakes with, forks and eating them. And so the next few pancakes did not go the same way as that first one. But he just, like, I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
And then interestingly enough, we talked to the servers and we did Google, and there are actually 2 original pancake houses in Tokyo.
Really?
Yes. So,
I've put my entire sweater arm.
I have questions, Julie. Did you tell the chocolate bra story?
I did tell the chocolate bra story,
Okay.
didn't I? Pretty sure I did. This would be a prime shirt to get chocolate in my bra.
Did Heather tell the chocolate boob story or not? Everybody
Let us
sound
know.
off. Have you, or more precisely, have you heard the chocolate boob story? It's pretty recent, so it would have been within the last, 6 weeks or so. But yeah, it was just this, like, origami magic. Because this was a full size pancake, y'all.
Not a silver dollar.
Not a silver dollar, like a full size pancake. So it was a thing to witness. Okay, Julie does not remember chocolate boob story. So Heather, go.
Okay, so
Plus, I'm hoping that at least the chocolate part made you smile.
oh, the whole thing made me smile. I had dinner at Allison's house, which was wonderful when her parents were visiting, and she served bourbon chocolate mousse in a beautiful chocolate shell, and it was unbelievable, and I really enjoyed it and ate I cleaned my plate. I ate all the food before it, and that also cleaned my whiskey glass enough that other
Several
people didn't come.
times. And also apparently there was a throwing towels fight at one point in the kitchen.
I didn't throw towels.
No, I'm pretty sure I did.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's right.
I'm pretty sure I threw towels at you.
Yes,
Yeah.
there were towels thrown. I think I was
Please don't tell TWC.
I was beaten up by my boss, TWC.
Yes.
But then she gave me chocolate mousse, so I'm okay. But, okay, so
It didn't happen on the work premises, so I don't think it counts.
particular shirt, I can see how this might have happened with something like this. But I was wearing a shirt with a neckline like up to here and just a little keyhole. And so someone else drove me home, and I got home, and I, got ready for bed, and I took off my shirt, and then I took off my bra, and I looked down, and I am just brown. all.
And Heather is not a brown person.
I don't know if you've noticed how much I glow in the dark, but I do. And I was not in certain parts glowing in the dark. So because I had cleaned my whiskey glass, I was like, oh, that's mousse. It wasn't actually mousse. It was the chocolate shell. Somehow some of it had gotten through the keyhole neckline inside my bra, and there was still a big hunk of it, like, in my bra. The rest of it had just melted all over the cleavage. And so I was delicious, but
I mean, you're always delicious.
I am always delicious, but I'm not always chocolate dipped. So usually I'm the original vanilla flavor.
Fair.
But yeah, it was super impressive. I have no idea how it got there.
Also, that chocolate bourbon mousse was really freaking good.
Yeah, it
was. Though I have a funny, it's not funny, but a story. Okay, so the chocolate, yeah. So the chocolate bourbon mousse recipe I got off of Pinterest, and I am a good cook. I've said this. This is the second time I've said this in this broadcast. So I'm reading the recipe and I'm kind of not paying attention. So I do the thing that the recipe says and I'm like, shit, that was bad. Because public service announcement, don't ever add liquid to melted chocolate. You add melted chocolate to other things, but don't put liquid in melted chocolate because it makes it break. So this recipe said put the whiskey and the vanilla in the chocolate, and of course it broke, and then I had to save it. So PSA, if you're gonna make this, you want to whip the cream, put the whiskey and the vanilla in the cream, melt the chocolate, and then pour that in there. But then I brought the leftovers for some of my clients who thought it was great, and one of them wanted the recipe. So I print out the recipe and I'm reading it. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, it says whip the cream until it forms clumps, and and
AKA butter.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, this is the worst recipe ever.
The proportions given in
the proportions are great. But I really need to rewrite the whole, because if I hand the recipe to somebody who's good at cooking with a couple of annotations, they'll be fine. But my darling client who wants the recipe is not really a cook. She's amazing and she's better at cooking than she thinks she is.
She is.
To be fair, but she doesn't necessarily have the base of knowledge to be like,
Plus she's dyslexic, and so you can't have errors in the recipe on top of that.
So I need to rewrite this whole recipe so I can give it to her. But it's just, it's so bad.
Break the chocolate, make butter, mix it together. What could possibly
go wrong? And then drink the rest of the bourbon, because you will have no edible mousse.
And
at
save
all.
Some in your broth for later.
Yeah. But like, just, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have a tiny soapbox moment. Like, ugh. How do some people make more money writing bad recipes on Pinterest than I do working my ass off 70 hours a week? Maybe I should just start writing good recipes on Pinterest.
You should.
That'll be a good side hustle.
Yes.
In addition to my other 5 side hustles.
Yes.
It's not true. It's not 5. It's only... I mean, honestly, Michael isn't ordering anything right now, so it's really only 1 side hustle. Which for a Zennial, 1 side hustle is not nearly enough. We're definitely required to have at least 2 to survive. But I'm
too old. I'm just supposed to lay around and take care of myself.
But seriously, like, this is okay. little more soapbox, but like this is the thing about, there's so much bad content out there that it's yes, you can get on the internet and you can learn how to cook anything, but there are 30 recipes for this and 25 of them are terrible. So having the base knowledge allows you to say, hey, that sucks, that sucks, that sucks, that one's good, that one's good. There's nothing wrong with using recipes, but there's so much bad content out there that it's hard to separate the good content from the bad. It's like I almost wish there was an independent, objective rating system for internet recipes to be like, yes, use this one. No.
For internet instructions in general.
Yeah, but
like our jewelry tutorials versus
other people's. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I know you're not the only one, Julie. Tina St. John is another one who is a boomer who works like a Zennial, and she actually is still overcoming challenges from a stroke that she had a couple of years ago. And were you here when she was in the other day?
Briefly, yes.
Yeah, she's still, as someone with an ironclad work ethic who's still having cognitive difficulties caused by a stroke, she's having a lot of emotional difficulties because Tally Bent!
You are
not. You're amazing. You are the best of all of us, and we love you.
Yes, unless you want to be an abominable snow person and move to the snow with me.
No.
Then we can talk about it.
Heather cannot. No.
Chocolate or cheese. That is. Yes. No, you. No. Not the same. One of these things is not like the other.
No, but she's so yeah. So it was really great to reconnect with that particular client. But yeah, she's having a lot of emotional responses to literally not being able to work how she used to, and I need to remember to put her things in the kiln. So it's 8:54. So
we talked a lot.
I talked a lot. So whose turn is it?
We can.
I say one more.
One more. Okay.
So you or me?
Me, because you just talked a bunch.
Okay. So we got one more positive story from Heather.
Okay. So recently,
again, one of these things is not like the other.
Recently,
that should be a podcast topic.
One of these things is not like the other?
Yes, because that's a thing that happens in our business a lot.
A lot, yes. There's been an uptick in clients who come in and the demand is weird, but the feeling behind it is super sweet. They just want to hear me laugh. Me specifically, they want to hear me laugh. And they're not they're just, I don't know, it's a weird thing, and just being asked to laugh makes me laugh because that's weird. But it's really sweet. It really is. One of these things. My laughs are magical healing.
I actually laughs in general
are magical healing.
Are magically healing, and
whether you're doing it or someone around you is doing it, I have noticed that.
Ooh, 2 truths and a lie. Got it.
Oh, 2 truths and a lie is amazing. Yes, I absolutely kick booty at that game.
That's because you are a stealth crazy person. Like you are stealth. Like Heather contains multitudes, y'all. Like you don't even. Okay, though I do want to close this out with an experience from the birthday party today. 'Cause I know you have a button machine. Okay, so we will talk. But okay, so apparently there's a thing with the little young people called preppy videos, which are basically just visual montages synchronized with clips of songs. And it's not only clips of current popular songs, it's just clips of songs from literally I heard stuff from the 60s until today. So
it is all hidden in my hair. Yeah, the multitudes are right here.
But the thing about it is, I recognized a lot of these clips. And and so the clips are 10, 15 seconds long, but there were a number of clips from songs that the entirety of the song is not really what I would consider appropriate for a 12-year-old. For instance, Eminem's Without Me and Pretty Girls Walk Like This. If you've heard the beginning of that song, there are a whole lot of cuss words. And a couple of other ones that I can't remember. Those were the two that stuck out in my mind. I'm just like, okay, these kids can, use their phones to figure out what these songs are from. And then they can Google them and then, and now they know all of these things, because Trailer Park Girls Go Round the Outside is not really something that
round the outside.
Yes, and then, there's always, the peak Heather moment of, bitch. Okay, there wasn't anything, okay, to be fair, there were no clips from Closer, but
Sophia. Allison.
I defer to Heather.
What? No.
Yes.
No, you were big.
You're big now. It's on your playlist.
No.
Yes.
Sophia, I won't DM you.
But
sometimes my mom watches.
Okay, no, but the funniest thing I have to say about that song, Without Me by Eminem, which I love, because it's a great song. But the first time, so Heather has a playlist called Songs That Make Me Feel Like a Badass.
I do.
She does.
Have that playlist.
And it's an amazing playlist, which at some point, actually, I would like to put on a thumb drive, because I would like to have it.
Like to have it? Yeah.
Yes. But so that song came on, and we're grooving, and there's a moment in that song where there's and I don't know the lyrics, but it's something said, bitch. And so Heather's sitting at the table working, and all of a sudden, the lyrics come up, and she just goes, bitch! And I'm like, hello? Okay then. Let's see. What's the other, okay, there's a lot in that. But, somebody fucking something, get a, Fat Boy Slim is fucking in heaven.
Yes.
Yes, that's on that playlist.
Yeah.
Yep. Closer is Closer on there?
Closer is on there.
Mm-hmm. Closer by 9 Inch Nails. So
also a 9 Inch Nails song called Wish, which includes the phrase, sorry mom, close your ears if you're under 18, fist fuck.
Yes, And you did.
Yes,
you
I
said,
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fuck.
We were always
Yeah.
also sitting here, and I'm
Yeah.
beading, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this fuck, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, the first time co-listening to the songs that make me feel like a badass player, or songs that make me feel like a badass with Heather, it was an experience, y'all. It was, this was like, you are learning something about your best friend right now that you did not know before. Because, yes, that I was not, this is what I mean by the fact that Heather is stealth. Like,
Yeah,
you do not
if
expect
I had
this
before,
from the Heather.
Right now, if I had thrown in, I've seen 9 Inch Nails live 4 times. Would you have
Oh, I've
decided
never,
that was the truth?
I've never seen 9 Inch Nails live.
I saw 9 Inch Nails on the David Bowie tour.
Oh my god, I hate you. I hate you so much right now because
I know.
I've never seen 9 Inch Nails or Bowie live. So, see, Heather's actually had way better life experiences than me, but she's very, well, I know, but that just involved the fact that now I need knee replacements. I mean, I did definitely sleep with some questionable band people, but, anyway, that is, but circling back, like, there are a number of things off that playlist that were on the, like, preppy video, like, clips. And once again, I'm like, okay, really, like, no little 12-year-old girl really needs to know the words fist fuck are a thing.
No.
Like,
definitely
okay,
not.
and I mean, honestly, like, anybody who's listened to Pretty Girl...
I'm not sure I'm old enough to...
well, but, I mean, and I'm sorry, but anybody who has listened to the intro, I love the song Pretty Girls Walk Like This.
Yes.
But the intro is explicit. Like, these, once again, like...
like WAP, which is a catchy AF song.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah.
So, it's interesting. It's interesting that... I don't know. I'm not going to say... I mean, okay, to be fair, actually, I feel like this is the modern day version of, like, Camel cigarette ads being targeted at teenagers. Like, sex and fame and all of the toxic shit that swirls around that are being repackaged as something generic and then flung at children because eventually it's going to make people money. So, anyway. But yeah, just like...
It's supposed to end on a positive note. You're failing.
I know. Just when that hook came on from Without Me, I was like, oh my freaking God. What is going on? Okay, so ending on a positive note. So, my neighbor is doggy sitting her son's dog. And so her son has 2 dogs, Coco and Duchess. Her son and his lovely wife, Melissa. And unfortunately, they had a plumbing explosion in their home that ruined the entire house. So they are in a rental house whilst insurance pays for replacement of all of the floors. So the rental house they're in is lovely, but it's by a very busy street. And Coco is this tiny little Chiweenie mix, and she's a potate. She's a potate. She's very old, and she's almost completely blind. And unfortunately, being next to such a busy street was too much for her emotionally. She was very stressed, so she came to stay with my neighbor, and I live in a duplex, so my neighbor lives in the other half of my house. And so she came to stay with my neighbor because it's much quieter where we live. You know, there's barely any traffic. And unfortunately, though, Coco has a friend, Duchess, and is very used to being with her, but for whatever reason, they decided that Duchess would stay at the rental house because it didn't bother her, and Coco would come to live with my neighbor temporarily. So Coco has severe separation anxiety. And so whenever my neighbor would leave, just cries and cries and cries and cries and cries and cries. So we started an experiment where when my neighbor leaves, because my boyfriend and his dog Dallas, who is also extremely adorable,
She's awesome.
she is, are on a bit of an extended stay. Oh, look, it's a video of Coco and Dallas.
Oh, good.
So I will show that. That will be our conclusion. Is on an extended stay, so I suggested that Coco come and visit us when my neighbor is gone, and that's worked out really well. Because Coco just makes the saddest noises that you can hear through the wall when she's alone. Sad potates. So yes, so this is your video of Coco and Dallas. So Coco is the little one, Dallas is the big one.
Dallas, you want to play so bad? Look at the waggy tail. So much wag. Yes. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is okay.
Well, funny you mentioned Coco's face in a wall.
Well, okay, yeah, because Coco is, like I said, pretty much blind. So this was one of the first things that she did when she came to my house, was staring at the wall.
Such a perfect,
Yes.
sad, blind, perfect potato. But anyway, Coco has made a new friend, and Dallas is thrilled.
Yes. So now Coco and Dallas have regular play dates, and Coco doesn't have to be alone and sad, and Dallas is a really good babysitter. So that's our positive note that we are ending on, is that, you know what, we can all support eeach other and be happy, and you know what?
Okay, good.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord. No chewing through walls. I'm in a rental. But no. Coco and Dallas, get along really well.
They formed a company together coalition.
Yes. So, this is a good thing. So this is another thing that makes me smile, is that by the simple relocation of a tiny doggo from one side of a house to the other, I was able to alleviate her distress, and that's awesome. So, oh goodness, well, and we can tell stories of Mamie and her jailbreaks out of the cat door as well. But I think for now, we should get home. Yes. So thank you all so much for tuning in to the button list. At some point, we will have a cool graphic to conclude this broadcast with, but I'm pretty sure that Corpus is still working on it. So everyone have a great night. So tomorrow is Thursday. That means it's a sale. I'm going to be selling a lot of the stuff that I showed on the tutorial tonight. Keiko, just saying. And everyone have a great night. And we'll see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream tomorrow at 6:30 for the sale. Everyone take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Bye, Silver.